music. He's like love, 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 and music. La la la, love, 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 and music. Love, love.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. I am Jay Lee. This is Jay Lee's Corner. This is my review. What did I say? This is my review for Teen Mom OG. This is season 7, part 1 of the reunion. Tonight's lipstick is Urban Decay. It is Urban Decay. The color is Quads Pandemonium, people. Pandemonium. So, yes, I love it. The reunion was kind of boring. You know, I'm not going to hold you up. Not boring, but I think they need to get someone besides Dr. Drew to host these things. Simply because he goes too easy. Or he allowed Amber, I'm going to be honest and blunt and frank. I'm going to be honest, frank, and blunt. He allows Amber to wiggle out of bullshit. He needs to do the same thing with Farrah. It's like, I know he be knowing some of them be lying, and he just kind of don't call them out on their shit. Or he'll only call certain people out on their shit. And I don't like that. Like, be fair and call everybody out on their shit. You know, we see Kate goes up first. And she just brings up hers really, really short, honestly. She says how she's, you know, when she watched the whole playback of the season, she's like, you know, she was an emotional wreck. I'm so tongue-tied, people. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Y'all know I do a couple reviews, so I've been talking. Anywho, she said she's an emotional wreck. Watching back the season, mainly because she's thinking about Nova. And she's worried that she's putting Nova through the same thing she went through with her parents as a child. Maybe not to the exact T of what she went through, but still with her not being around sometimes. She's in treatment. Her not being, you know, all the way okay mentally. So she's having to, you know, do certain things to get herself together. And I can kind of get how she feels that way. But when she got emotional, I thought she got emotional because I'm pretty sure when she watched the season, she had to have seen Tyler say, "What about Nova?" You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, that could have also been a reason for her, you know, feeling some kind of way. You know, she does bring up how, you know, all these years she was on medication for like 6 years, and the medication that she was on wasn't even really working for her. So going to rehab, she was there for a total of 90 days, which is 3 months. So I think she probably went 6 weeks and 6 weeks, probably, because she went twice. So yeah, she was like, for the past 6 years, the meds she was on weren't working. So they had to like recalibrate her meds. But then Dr. Drew, with his petty self, was like, you know what I'm saying, but you were also smoking a lot of pot. So, you know, if you're taking certain medications, if you're doing drugs, whether the drugs are, you know, crack, cocaine, or weed, it still can affect your body. And she said, well, yeah, you know, I was. I'm not now. I've been, you know, cleaning this over for 4 months. So, you know, I don't do it anymore. And he like, well, is Tyler also clean? And she's like, well, I can't speak for him. And I feel like, if your spouse has an addiction to something and they have to quit, I do feel like you should quit too. You know what I'm saying? I feel like if she smoked crack, he shouldn't be able to smoke crack and come home smelling like crack. So, I mean, if she had a weed addiction, she can no longer smoke weed. For him to still smoke weed, so when I'm pretty sure she smells it, it can be a trigger. So I do hope that maybe he doesn't smoke as much weed, or if he does smoke weed, he never smokes it when she's around, and he takes his clothes off and he, you know, washes them, and she doesn't smell it. I just don't understand sometimes when spouses won't quit when their spouse has an addiction to something. Like if I dated somebody who was an alcoholic and they were trying to be clean, I don't think I would, when they're in the midst of themselves getting clean, I don't think I would drink around them initially. just so that they're not triggered. I mean, eventually I'm gonna have a drink, okay? Because I like my Long Islands, I like my strawberry daiquiris. You know what I'm saying? I like my lobster ridge from Real Lobster. I like my liquor when I drink. But I'm also aware of when a person has an addiction they're trying to kick, you kind of don't want to tempt them. Like when I stopped smoking cigarettes, I was not around any of my friends who smoked for a while because I didn't want that trigger. And if they were around me, they wouldn't smoke. Like they would like walk away and smoke or whatever like that. So, that's kind of cool. And that kind of all they talked about with Kate. They're going to bring Tyler out the next episode. He did not come back out today. Well, theirs is pretty simple, so we can talk about that later. Macy and Taylor. And then Ryan and Mackenzie. Macy and Taylor basically theirs is talking about, how Ryan is still not taking a drug test. We had a whole season and Ryan still has not taken a dang on drug test. And she says that's really all she had been waiting on for him to do so that he can see Bentley, and he just kind of won't do it. She's like, I don't know why he won't do it. It's really up to him. It is what it is. She admits that she does not think he's clean and sober. I don't think anybody does think he's clean and sober. I don't even think his parents and his wife don't think. I think they are still covering for him in one way or the other. I just feel like he still gets high, and that's my personal opinion. We see how Taylor says how he does not like how Ryan talks to Macy, saying when he would call her or text her or message her, in whatever ways, he was always rude and threatening in one way or the other, and he does not appreciate that. And I think he has every right to feel that way as her husband. He also says that because he know they have their own situation, he tries to stay out of it as much as he can, but he doesn't like it. I think that's a proper way to handle it, because sometimes you don't want your husband and your baby daddy to be fighting and fussing and arguing, because that does not make anything better. So I think him just supporting Macy in it and the rude whatever antics that Ryan pulls, but he's not interacting with Ryan. I think at this point it's the right thing to do. Ryan is going to always be Ryan and do what the fuck Ryan wants to do, and that's his problem. He's been spoiled rotten his whole life, and now he's a little rotten piece of shit. Anywho, so they take them off the stage to bring in Ryan and Mackenzie. Excuse me, y'all. You can clearly see the disconnect between Mackenzie and Taylor, and Ryan, Mackenzie and Taylor, Lord Jesus, Macy and Taylor, Mackenzie and Ryan, and then, Jen and Larry. Like when Ryan and them was gonna come on stage, they said, okay, we're gonna have Mackenzie walk on first. So Mackenzie walked up first, and they kind of just walked right past each other. And then Ryan went up on there, and even when they walked past Jen and Larry, like Macy kind of didn't speak. I think because it's a clear divide, and I feel like Macy feels when we're here and there with Ryan, I'm going to let them be with their son, because if they speak to me, it can trigger him. So I'm just going to keep my distance and I can talk to them later. I think that's also a smart thing to do. So when they come on the stage, Ryan, the first thing Dr. Drew asks, of course, is, all season Macy kept asking for the drug test. Why, when you give her a drug test? Ryan gave the most bullshit answer I've ever heard in my life. He says how when Macy wanted a urine test and a hair follicle test, and I wasn't giving her a hair follicle test because the hair follicle test would have came back positive, because the drugs had not been out of my system long enough to make it be negative. Dr. Drew said, but now it's been long enough, because you still haven't done it. You should have been clean long enough to have a positive hair follicle test. And he's like, well, yeah. So he still don't have a reason why he didn't do it. That he then asked, well, why don't you could do it now? He says, oh yeah, I could. Ryan don't really want to see Bentley. He doesn't. Ryan wants to make you think he wants to see Bentley, because then Drew does also ask him, what about the whole thing? You're trying to go to lawyers and get like some kind of better custody agreement or get custody of him or whatever. What happened with that? Oh, well, I had to wait. I couldn't keep doing that because I had a situation that I had to wait for it to play out. And then after that's done, I would go back and do it. And this recently got cleared up. And he's like, well, what was it? Oh, well, I got pulled over with drugs in the car. And so I have to, even right now. And he said, oh, so that means, you have to complete some stuff. He's like, oh no, well, I have to take these random drug tests through the courts. And he says, if you're taking monthly drug tests with the courts, and he said, I have been doing it for the past 3 months, why haven't you given that to Macy? Oh, I didn't want to have to call her and have her not return my phone call. Ryan is full of crap. Ryan is full of crap. And so is his wife, Mackenzie, because she sat there and let that man act as if you keep saying she won't let me see him. She wants me to have a drug test. She wants a follicle test. All these things. I want to get cut. All these things. All these excuses. Ryan has every excuse in the book as to why he doesn't see Bentley, and he never blames himself. Why? Because Ryan is a selfish piece of crap. Okay, and Mackenzie just as bad because she's allowing him to paint Macy as the victim when she herself is a mother of it. I'm like, how can you not get? You have to see what your husband is doing. You have to see that. And for him to say, I don't feel like texting her, Drew said, but y'all been texting each other forever. So what is it? Why is it the issue now? If all you have to do to see your son is give her a drug test, and you've been taking monthly random drug tests through the courts, why would you not give that to Macy to see him? Well, she wants me to take a drug test every time I see him. Again, Ryan has every excuse in the book to not see his son, and you can't tell me different. Okay, so it goes from that to him saying, because Drew said, well, how did you even get started to being, addicted to stuff or whatever? He says, well, it started with me taking pills. I was getting pills from all these different doctors who, I didn't have a real prescription for, but they would give me this medication, and now I was doing the pill stuff. He then said, yeah, and the doctors who were giving me the prescriptions or giving me the pills, they all in jail. So he was going to like a pill house or whatever. Doctors were he was getting pills illegally from doctors. He says from there he started doing other drugs, but then he says, what plans do you have, to stay sober? Like, are you in treatment or whatever? He's like, well, no, every once in a while I might, and I was going to see a therapist, but we stopped that. I can't do this, I can't do that, but I have Mackenzie, my mom, and my dad. And Drew was like, that isn't enough. You had a $10,000 a week habit. You need some counseling. You need aftercare. And he ain't been doing it. He wants to stay high. He wants to keep doing what he needs to do to be high. He then says, no one, because he said, well, can't you see, like, get a doctor or like a therapist or whatever? Mackenzie said, no one is willing to see him because he's on this show. Bitch, what? What you just last say, Mackenzie? Girl, I said that she just fixed the date because her and Brian both said, yeah, there's no doctor. There's no one ever around us at all who's willing to see me because I'm on the show. They told him the only way that he can be a patient of theirs is if he quit his job on the show. I said, you got to be fucking kidding me. Bruh. And they said it with a straight face. Drew said, no. He said, for one, if you were at a facility, I'm talking and Siri just popped up, which is hilarious because I have my iPad right here. But he's like, if you were at the facility for the rehab, they would set you up with someone in your area. That's what they do. So he's like, I'm pretty sure you can't say that all the doctors in your area won't see you. He's like, there are plenty of people who are on TV, who are on reality shows or in entertainment in general, who see therapists. And he said, I'm also pretty sure if you assure them that the cameras won't be in your sessions, they will accommodate you. Which is true. Because if you think about it, when Caitlyn was in treatment, the cameras were not there. Butch was in treatment, the cameras were not there for it. When Ryan was in treatment, the cameras weren't there. I mean, he acted as if... They told that boat the doctors won't see him because he's on this show. I'm like, no, he don't want to get help. He don't want to go see nobody. He ain't nobody told him that you can't come see me because you're on a TV show. No one has said that. Doctors want exposure. They do, in one way or the other. And while they would say, because now if you said, I want to videotape all of our sessions, that they might not agree to. And if they say that you can't videotape the sessions, you can still show yourself going there and coming home. You don't want to get help, Ryan. You can't tell me anything different. And, Ryan, I just think they live in this delusional world where they assume we don't see them and we can't see they're lying. And anyone who has every excuse in the book who have avoided a drug test to go see his son, and who was saying that no doctor will see him as a patient because he's on a reality show, is a bag of shit. It's a bag of bullshit. Okay, you feed it to everybody, but ain't nobody eating it. I'm like, no, bro, you sound stupid. At this point, I feel like Ryan does not take his addiction serious. Neither does his wife. I feel like they both think it's a joke, and they're like, okay, we can just keep lying our way out of stuff. We're gonna just say stuff. We're gonna pull stuff out the crack of our ass, and just hope people don't say that it smells like shit. Everything out your mouth smells like shit because you pulled it out the crack of your ass, and no one believes you. No one believes you. It's so pathetic to say, I know all I need is a drug test to see my son, but I don't want to give it to the girl because she wants a hair test. I know I can need a drug test to see my son, and I'm getting one by the courts, but I don't want to give it to the mama because I don't feel like texting her because she might not reply. Anywho, we then see Drew saying how they're gonna have Ryan and Macy have a conversation because they both have conflicting stories where Ryan keeps saying that whenever he texts Macy, she does not respond, and Macy saying that's not true. So when they said they're gonna bring them both out, Ryan like, I ain't sitting out here where I'm not doing it. He literally was like, I ain't doing it. He takes his mic off. I ain't doing it. She's a liar. She's full of shit. Mackenzie saying she's a liar because she keeps saying that Ryan does not text her, but she doesn't respond back. Macy then like, so they won't go on and talk with me. They was like, no. So then the producer says like, let's go to the side real quick. She's like, but your mic is alone, so people gonna hear it, but we just kind of be in a little private area. And she says, I think they don't want to go on stage with you because they feel like you're going to call them out on certain things and they just don't want to deal with it. And Macy said it's because they know I have proof of him lying and he does not want me to show the proof. Now earlier when Macy was on stage, when they were saying, well, yeah, Macy asked him to do a drug test, you saw him saying to Mackenzie, I wish I would have brought my phone because I have it in my phone where I told her I would pee in a cup for her. But if she told you I want a hair follicle test and you won't do one, then, it's a discrepancy, period. From there, at the end of it, when she said, I'm sorry, y'all. He is things he does not want me to expose. She then says, Ryan will tell them he texts me and I don't respond, but I have my phone. I respond to him. He deletes my responses in his phone so they don't see them. And truth be told, if I send you a text and your phone has, well, see, I sent her these, and all that's in your phone is you sending outgoing things to me, but it looks as if I'm not responding. If I have my phone, and if my phone shows those exact same messages to you, and then between the stuff that you sent to me, it showed me replying to you, but in your phone and not there, it proves you were deleting my responses. And she said she feel like because he know that's what she gonna do, he don't want to be on stage with her, and he does not want to face the truth. And I believe it. I honestly do. Ryan has lied his way through all these seasons of this show. I don't believe Ryan as far as I can throw him, and I can't throw him far. I can't throw that man but maybe 2, 3, 4 inches away from me. So that's about this much. I don't trust nothing he says. He's always looking for reasons to not do something, and he's just not trustworthy. He's not responsible. He's not a constant father in Bentley's life, and I call him bullshit. I really do. So I'm like, it is what it is, and we'll see how that transpires on the next episode of the season. Well, it's the part 2 of the reunion. Amber is there via video chat. She's not there in person because she's pregnant, so she probably couldn't fly. When they show the whole playback of the season, Amber says she's upset watching it because she feels like everything Gary said was not true. Amber is also delusional in certain things. Amber says this whole thing like, I'm never away from Nia. I've never been away from her for a whole month. But I feel like if you can say something like, I've never went a month without seeing her, but if you went 3 weeks without seeing her, that's still bad. To say stuff like, when Gary said she only saw Leah 2 times during the summer, and your response is, I saw her 3 times. Amber is delusional in the aspect of knowing that she is honestly not as good of a mother as she could be to her daughter. And I don't think the thing that Amber is lacking is Gary's fault. I think Gary, for the most part, tries to protect Leah from Amber's inconsistent lifestyle. Amber at times is not around. Amber at times flies off the handles. And Amber at times does not have time to be a mother. So I think Gary protects Leah in the way of, I can't allow you to kind of just step in whenever you want to. Because if she get used to that and then you do what you always do, which is go away for whatever the reason may be, I have to then deal with her being sad that you're no longer consistent. And, she says how, people should understand, when me and Matt broke up, it was hard. We were together for 3 years. It was a horrible relationship. You know what I'm saying? It was a mental and physical abuse. And as she talking, I'm like, when she said it was a horrible relationship, I was sad, I was depressed when we broke up. It was mental and physical abuse. So it was a bad relationship. It's horrible. She then says, when I found out he maybe cheated on me, that was it for me. So he can beat your ass, but if he cheat on you, that's the deal breaker. You were okay with all the other horrible things, but it wasn't until you thought he cheated on you that was the end of it. Amber. She then admits that she was spiraling out of control, that she was drinking very heavily and just doing things that was not conducive to being, like a good parent. She said she stopped taking her medication for a few months, which made her spiral because she thought she can handle things. But all these things she's saying, you had a boyfriend in your life for 3 years who was a piece of shit, who beat you, who stole your money, and you had him around your daughter. You then, when y'all broke up, you were so sad and distraught. You stopped taking your medication, knowing if you stopped taking your meds, it might affect you. How was that good for your daughter? That was something else I'm thinking. Amber said how all the decisions she made for her daughter doesn't make sense. You stayed with a man for 3 years who you were claiming was mentally and physically abusive and a cheater. And he also used different drugs. And he was also stealing. So your point is, why did you stay with him for Leah? Like, I don't get it. You were drinking for Leah. You spiraled for Leah. And I feel like Amber uses the excuse of her mental situations to be a reason that when she's sad and depressed, she don't have to be a mom. I feel like that's what Gary complains about. He says, I don't have the choice to do that. I can't just say, me and so-and-so broke up, I'm going to stop taking my medication and, or what. I can't do that. Amber does things because Amber doesn't have to worry about Leah on a regular basis, because she know that if I'm a shitty mom, if I'm not around, she has Gary and Christina. So I can take 3 months or 3 weeks and go to marriage boot camp with this man who I say is abusive and a piece of shit and he cheats. I can go try to save that relationship and leave my daughter with her daddy because she good. Okay, I can do that. Gary can't do that. So I think she's very hypocritical and delusional when she says things like, I did everything that I did for my daughter. No, you don't. You do the most for yourself. And that doesn't mean that you don't love Leah. We know that you love your daughter. You just don't know how to be a mom. It is what it is. So we then have Andrew coming on. He just says how I think they asked, well, how did you and Andrew start talking? And she said, well, it was really weird. I didn't think I would go to the marriage boot camp show and find someone else. I was a crazy person on the show. She was a crazy ass bitch on that show. So I was surprised he liked me, but he came to visit me for a couple of days. We hung out a little bit, and things happened. She says that she was not using birth control. So again, you were sleeping with a man who was strange and got pregnant. So again, how did you go into boot camp to fix your stuff with Matt? You then met Andrew, started fucking that man with no condom, raw sex, okay, people, raw sex, because she said I was not on birth control. So if you weren't on birth control and you got pregnant, there was no condom. So you was having unprotected sex with this strange man from this TV show and got pregnant. What part of that was for your daughter? I'll wait. Oh, none of it. Right. So I think she's full of shit. It just doesn't make any sense that she tries to make things about Leah that's not really about Leah. Because if she was really trying to do things for Leah, she would not need to have a man in her life to do that. She would take the time out to build a true relationship with her daughter away from her dude. She would have gotten herself together mentally, physically, spiritually, all that, okay? And then came back bigger and better than ever as a mom for her daughter. But she didn't. She came back with a man and a new baby. Anywho, when Andrew comes on, he just says how, because Dr. Drew asks, how does he feel about, things going on with Amber and Gary. Andrew said he thinks Gary's very manipulative. He says he feels like Gary purposely pushes Amber's buttons, gets her upset on purpose, and wants to get her frustrated. And then he's left to calm her down and walk her off a ledge. My thing is, Gary can say to Amber, Leah's birthday is in 2 days. Do you want to come to the party? I know when her birthday is. Are you trying to piss me off? Anything Gary say or do will piss her off, because I think Amber really feels like Gary is feeding Leah negative information about her. And I think Gary, when he talked to Christina, he might talk shit about Amber before what Amber does. But anyone who watches the show can say I have never seen Gary speak negatively about Amber in front of Leah. I've never seen that. But I have actively seen Amber act a plum de fool in one way or the other, or show Leah that she's uncomfortable around certain situations. And Gary has not. I think it's because Gary's used to being around the kids. He has Leah. They have, Christina has, kids too. And then him and Christina's daughter. I think he just has more experience being a parent than Amber does. So Amber being pissed that he publicly is talking to his wife about her. You're on the show. Excuse me. Let's not act as if you aren't also having your own scenes talking shit about whatever. So I think Amber's a hypocrite still. I think Andrew has not been around long enough to say what is going on with Gary and Amber. I think it's easy for him, being this easy guy, thinking whatever he's saying to Amber, because it pisses her off, he pisses her off on purpose. If you breathe too hard, it pisses Amber off. If you tell her the sky is blue, it pisses her off, because the sky might look green to her. Anything you say or do can piss Amber off at the drop of a hat. That is her problem. She's always been this, I'm going to blow up because somebody pissed me off over the littlest of things, and that's the issue. So Andrew, good luck, brother. If you like it, I love it, but that's not really. Then the last thing they brought up, she's like, Gary even brought up all this old stuff about Andrew. That was, lowbrow or whatever. Andrew admits that he had prior drug problems. He had prior, maybe like DUI or something. He said, when my father passed away, I spiraled and I, went crazy, whatever. I can completely understand that he has a past, but I also feel like it's not wrong of Gary to look into the past of a man who's going to be around his daughter, because the mama brought this new man around. I don't think she know him. So my thing is, if she did not take the time to get to know him, I want to know what he's into, because as you see, you had Matt around the damn daughter, and as Amber said, Matt was physically and mentally and emotionally abusive, and he was out here popping pills, and he was out here cheating on her. So my thing is, you didn't know who the fuck Matt was, and you was with him for 3 years. So my thing is, if you brought somebody new around, I am going to look into his past, and I'm going to ask the question. She said he's this perfect guy, but he has his record. Okay? And that's kind of how it goes off. We have to see what happens in the next episode. But, it was good. It was good. It was what it was. I thought it would be better, but it was enjoyable. Anywho, what I'm saying? I'm all done right here for today, people. I will see you guys next week. I am Jay Lee. This is Jay Lee's Corner. Peace.